Hello, welcome to SS Unitech. Sushil this side, and this is continuation of Databricks Professional Certification question list. So this is part 3 of this video series. So let's get started with more questions. So the first question, it is saying a structured streaming job in production shows delay during the peak hours. In the normal period, each micro batch is finishes in less than 3 seconds, but during the peak hours, sometimes it is taking more than 30 seconds. The streaming trigger interval is set to 10 seconds. So holding all other variables as constant and assuming records must be processed in less than 10 seconds. So which statement will meet this requirement? So let's try to read out the options. So the first option, it is saying the trigger interval cannot be modified without changing the checkpoint. So this statement is not correct. Trigger interval we can change without modifying the checkpoints. So this option is incorrect. In the second option, it is saying decrease the trigger interval to 5 seconds. Trigger more frequently allow ideal executors to start the next batch. So this statement is partially correct, as we are going to decrease the trigger interval to 5 seconds, so more frequently run will be happening, but executor will not be going to start the next batch, as the task is previously batch is not finished. So that's why this statement is not correct. The next task only going to start once the previous task will be completed. In the third option, it is saying use trigger once and scheduled a Databricks job every 8 seconds. So it means we are going to use the trigger option as once, and it will be going to execute on every 8 seconds. So if we are going to set this option in the trigger, so all the data will be going to process as a single batch, not in the multiple batch. So this will also not going to fulfill our requirement. Then the last option is remaining, that should be the correct one. So it is saying the decrease the trigger interval to 5 seconds, so more frequently run will be happening, and it will also going to divide your large batches from the causing spill to the small batches. So your data will be large while we are going to process in every 10 seconds. Now if you are going to decrease this, your batches will be small and the less data will be going to process. So that's why only this change will help us to meet the requirement. Now move to the next question. In the second question, it is saying to prevent accidental commits to production data, a senior data engineer requires that all development be done on cloned Delta Lake table. After testing both deep clone and the shallow clone, the team creates the development table with shallow clone. A few weeks later, cloned version of several tables implemented as type 1 SCD stop working. The transaction log of the source table shows that a vacuum was run the day before. Why the clone table no longer working? So first you have to understand about the deep clone and shallow clone. So once we are going to use the deep clone, it will be going to create a copy of metadata as well as the data. But while we talk about the shallow clone, it will only create the metadata and will be referenced to the same data files. And once we are going to make any change in the data, your shallow clone will be also pointing that one, so it may be failed. So the first option, it is saying the metadata created by the clone operation is referencing data files that were purged as invalid by the vacuum. So this statement is correct, that I told, because the shallow clone is pointing to the same files as we have done the vacuum command, so it will not be having that reference there because the data files has been purged. In the option B, it is saying because the type 1 changes overwrite existing records, Delta Lake cannot guarantee data inconsistent for downstream shallow clone. So this is not correct, because the Delta Lake take the full guarantee of the data consistency. And in the option C, it is saying running vacuum command automatically invalidates any shallow clones of the table. Deep clone should always be used when table will be queried repeatedly. So this option is partially correct, as we can see vacuum command does not always break the shallow command, but deep clone is suffer. So that's why this option is not correct. In the option D, it is saying that the data files compacted by vacuum are not tracked by the cloned metadata. Running refresh on the clone would reload the changes. This is not correct, because once we are going to run this vacuum command, we cannot roll back the things, and refresh cannot be recovered the deleted file. Let's move to the next question. So in this question it is saying a early batch job ingested file from the cloud object. Each early batch contains all records produced by the source system in that hour. The batch job is scheduled to complete after any expected late arrival. No late data is missing, and this is the schema. It is saying new records are appended into the account history, the full history table, and the downstream table is the account currently, a type 1 table that must contain the most recent value for each user ID. There are millions of users and 10,000 of records is processing on each hour. Which implementation is the most efficient and correct to update account current each early batch? So the first option, it is saying use the autoloader to subscribe the new files in the account history directory. Configure a structure streaming. So it is saying to configure the structure streaming trigger, but as it is saying this is the batch job, so this statement is incorrect, so we can mark this as incorrect. Let's move to the next one. It is saying the filter account history table by last updated for most recent hour, so this statement is correct, but it is saying deduplicate on the user name, but as we can see in the question, it is somewhere saying we need to take by user ID, so that's why this statement is also incorrect. In the third statement, it is saying filter the account history by last updated for most recent hour, so this statement is correct, because on each hour maybe same user is going to update multiple times, so we are required to take the latest one, and then deduplicate by the user ID, so it will be always having the latest value there. Then the last login to pick that I told, and run the merge to update, insert the most recent value for each user ID, so this statement is true. And the last one, it is saying override the account current every hour by running the query on account history that group by on the user ID and pick the maximum. Technically it's not possible, because we are having millions and millions of rows, and going forward those rows will be going to increase, so that's why this option is not correct. Option C is the only correct option. Let's move to the fourth question. It is saying a data engineer is performing a join operation to combine value from static user lookup table with a streaming data frame. Which code block represent as invalid stream static join in structured streaming? So as you could see, first it is having your structured streaming, and structured streaming we are going to join with the user lookup, and we are going to use the inner join, so obviously this statement is correct. And next it is saying user lookup, and we are going to join with the structured streaming, and here we are going to take the left join, so that is also correct. In the option C, it is saying the user lookup, and then we are going to join with the structured data frame, and then taking the right join, so this statement is not correct, because we cannot go with the right join with the structured streaming, because this is not fixed, it is going to load again and again as it is the live connections, so that's why this statement is incorrect. And the last one, it is saying while we are going to use the inner join, doesn't matter, the either we are going to use the lookup table first or the streaming table first in case of the inner join, so the first one and the last one will be going to get the same output. So as it is saying the invalid stream, so the third one is the invalid stream, so option C is the correct one. Let's move to the question 5. So it is saying a junior data engineer has configured a workload that posts the following JSON to the Databricks REST API endpoint 2.0 job create, and here it is having the values how we are going to create this job. Here it is saying what is the result of executing this API call 3 times, assuming that all configurations and referenced resource exist. Let's try to read out the options. So first it is saying once new job name is ingest, new data will be created in the workspace but it will not be executed. So it is saying one new job name this will be created, but we are going to execute this 3 times, so obviously total 3 jobs should be created, not 1. So that's why the first option is incorrect. In the second option it is saying 3 new jobs will be created with this name and but none of these will be executed. This statement is true because we are going to call this API 3 times and it will be creating 3 different jobs, but we don't specify anything for the trigger, so that's why it will not be triggered. Now in the third option it is saying the logic in the referenced notebook will be executed 3 times. Here we have not specified how we are going to trigger this, so that's why we are not gonna trigger, so this option is incorrect. And the option D is also saying the logic in the referenced notebook will be executed 3 times, so we are not going to execute anything, we are only going to create this job because this is the endpoint for creating the job. So I hope guys you have understood about all these questions. If you like this video, please subscribe our channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.